Bonnie River for the last 23 years while we've been farming here. We have about 6 hectares under irrigation. We pull the water from the river. It's about a 6-kilometre pipeline that runs from the rivers back to the farm. The water comes into one of 2 settling dams. It comes in at a pH, it leaves the river at about pH of 13, it gets to the farm at a pH of about 9, which is way too high for us. We then move it from one settling dam to the second dam, and in that process we drop the pH down by about another point. We then extract the water from the second settling dam and we put it through a series of 4 sand filters. From the 4 sand filters, the water then passes through bag filters. Then from the bag filters it goes through a set of disc filters, and then from the disc filters it is treated with chlorine at a rate of 2 parts per million, tested on a regular basis just to see that we don't overchlorinate. And once it's had chlorine added, it goes into a tank. From the tank it's pulled off, then it's ready for us to start distributing around the farm. It goes through another two sand filters, and then it gets sent to whichever of the farm it's going to be used on. On this farm we only use drip lines. There's no overhead irrigation whatsoever, so water is sent to a designated area. And it sits there waiting to then be pumped out onto the fields. If fertilizers are to be added, they are added at this point through A and B tanks, depending on what fertilizer it is that's being applied. And then the water is put onto the fields, and it will continue feeding the crops in the land until such time as the crops are ready, in which point they are harvested. Then the irrigation lines are taken out of the field. They are flushed with fresh water to remove any build-up that has happened in them, and hung up waiting for them to be reused the next time when we're planting the next crop on that same ground.
Okay. Can you tell us what type of crops do you have here, or do you grow?
So we're a seasonal farm, and we cannot grow the same crops in summer and winter. But in summer we grow we have a lot of different varieties of lettuce, meeting the needs of the lettuce requirements around Gaborone, whether it's restaurants or shops. We grow spring onions and leeks. We have a lot of citrus. We do lemons, limes, oranges and naartjies. We have quite a big herb section with quite a wide variety of herbs. We have a small amount of chilies and peppers. We do green beans as our rotational crop with the lettuce. We have a little bit of baby corn growing. We really just try and have a nice mix of crops going on the farm. A lot of those crops we can't do in winter, so we would then substitute cauliflower, broccoli, some rape, some spinach, what else? Some sugar snap peas. Those are our winter crops. We test our water on a regular basis. We test for E. coli and salmonella. We test through one of the local in Gaborone testing centres. They are a SANAS approved centre. So we undertake to do river water testing once a month. We are a GAP certified farm, so it's important that we maintain this level of cleanliness of our water throughout the year in order that we pass our audits when they happen annually. As a word of advice, I would say one should only use drip lines on their farm. There should be no overhead watering. You should minimize any contact that the plant has with the water, despite the fact that you've done very, very thorough cleaning of the water and you have maintained your testing to ensure that it is free from E. coli and salmonella. There should be no overhead watering. You need to also have access to tested borehole water for the cleaning of your vegetables before they leave the farm to go to market.